Hey, what's up everyone? Triple Nipple Nick, welcome to the video. Today's book review, we're going to keep it short. Talent is Overrated. I would say this is an excellent book. However, I don't know if you need to read the whole thing. It's very interesting, but the practical takeaways you could probably get from book reviews like this and asking ChatGPT or something like that. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, unless the case is you really have a limiting belief. If you have a limiting belief that talent is a really big factor limiting you getting whatever you want out of life, if you have dreams of doing something for a living or maybe not for a living, if there's something you want to do and you just think, oh, I'm not talented enough, the only people who are really successful were just born with that talent, then this book is totally for you. It's going to help totally bust that limiting belief. But then again, if you don't really have a strong limiting belief there, you don't need to read the whole thing to just really unwork that programming. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of the thesis of the book, is that talent is overrated. Yeah. So what that means is kind of in our culture, we have this myth going around, and we kind of just assume that people who are really good at something, they were born talented. Like, the book talks about, I think, like Mozart and Beethoven and all these old heads. And it actually talks about how we have these cultural narratives, but in reality, pretty much everyone who's really successful within a certain field started at a very young age being trained and doing deliberate practice and basically training for something in a way where they're constantly learning, and they're learning very quick. And intelligence is really a lot more complicated of a thing than we think it is. People aren't born with like an innate talent for some specific field. Sure, you can have different intelligences, and some people are better at certain types of things, but if there's something that you really enjoy and you practice it, you can become world class. And it goes through all these examples of people who, say, had no skill in some field, but through training they were able to get to a world class level of it. And this book argues that it's not just that, you can train to get to a certain level of proficiency. Really, you can get to a world class in anything you want without some kind of innate talent. And this is just a cultural myth we have that people just pass on, and it kind of limits us because we just kind of use as an excuse. And it's a reinforcing belief because you think, oh, I'm not talented at this, I'm not talented at that. So if there's anything you want to do in your life, and that's kind of a limiting belief for you, it can be work related, it can be a hobby, it can just be making a situation that you want, living the life that you want. Don't think that talent is gonna be in the way. So read this book if you fall into that category like I described. Otherwise, I think it's still really interesting. I just don't know if you need to read the whole book, although of course it's interesting and I would recommend it. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. For me, I'd say I don't think I really had a huge limiting belief. I hadn't really thought about it too much. But then as I started reading the book, I realized that subconsciously I kind of just thought that's how things worked. So anyway, yeah, that's the book review. Like and subscribe, leave a comment if you got questions. Thank you.